Good afternoon, everyone. It is January 31st, 1 month of 2017, over and done with, because it doesn't look like it's going to be any better than 2016, just saying. So this isn't really conspicuous news. Maybe I should call this one Dee's Dialogue, sort of. I've had, like I said, a lot of requests. People are busy, so they have a hard time listening to really long recordings, which is why I've started kind of making kind of little smaller edited versions of certain things. One of the other requests I've had is, for example, on the One People Roundtable discussion, which is a 2-hour show, people have often asked us and said, is there any way you could just like post the highlights of the show, which is impossible to edit, for me anyways. But last night's show, there was one topic I wanted to get a little more into than I was able to. Unfortunately, every time I started talking about this topic, my internet crashed. So it got to be the joke when I came back for the third time of like, oh, Dee, just don't say it. Don't say the words because you're just going to crash out again. But we're going to talk about it now. So I touched on this in several other videos, but I really want to dig in. This is an important topic, and that is, are you feeding the machine? Or are you taking the machine down? What I mean by that, we keep talking about this, the emotional impact and how they, the quintessential they, play on our emotions continuously. Now, the two aspects of this are that I want to get into is one, distraction, and the other side is pure vampirism. They just feed off of it. Okay, so politics right now, especially if you're in the States, fucking insane. And we are watching a media circus at the moment that is epic. I mean, I have never seen anything like what's going on in the media right now, for being completely transparent about the fact that they're completely biased, and they're completely incapable of research. And they're not journalists. They're obviously bought and paid for. They should have their little sponsorship, like the race car drivers. The journalists should have the same. So we're watching a circus play out. And we're watching, for example, Trump. Trump is being just slaughtered by all different kinds of the media. And yet, they're not even reporting on the facts. They pick a piece that big, and then they run with it, and they push it into out to the public, knowing that they will get an emotional response. So, of course, the big one, of course, is the so-called anti-Muslim legislation that Donald Trump put out, which he didn't. It's not anti-Muslim, right? There's 7 countries were named. There are 42 other Islamic nations that were not named. So therefore, it's not anti-Muslim. Secondly, do the research. Just to touch on the main points, everything he did was put into writing, put into law by Obama in 2015, and then updated to include 3 more countries in 2016. So if you're gonna, how do I say this? If you want to get angry, at least do the research. Go find out for yourself what was actually done. What does the executive order actually say? What does the, what is the background to it? Before you react, listen, I am guilty as the next person. I actually, when I saw that one come out, I went, oh, I really trying to hold this neutrality space, but wow, I could see how this could go real bad, real fast. And then I backtracked. And I was like, okay, well, first, let's go research. And I went down into it. Now, the same thing happened, okay? We watched the emotional blackmail, the emotional, I don't even know what you call it, that was put basically, for the last month anyways, that was put on the people for the Women's March, which of course I've already discussed. This massive division. Not only do we divide men from women, but we also divide the women up into groups. You're pro-Hillary, you're pro-Donald, you're pro-life, you're pro-choice, you're pro, I don't know, vegan, you're pro-meat and potatoes. It was across the board. Most people don't know that rally was planned months ago. It was planned as a victory march for Hillary Clinton winning the election. And when she didn't, that's when they turned it into an anti-Trump march. And it was fully funded by, of course, George Soros. But I'm not going to get into that right now. We know that it's all an act. Anyone who's done the research knows, as I keep saying, there's no difference between the Democrats and the Republicans or the conservatives and the liberals in Canada, or pick any number of parties of any fucking country. There is no difference. They all run with the same agendas. They're all controlled by the same people. And yet again, I'm watching people who I consider to be really awake, who know this shit, are falling for the emotional blackmail. They're falling for these, again and again and again, the media pushing the emotional response so that you react, not think, not research, but react. And while everyone, and I've been talking about this on Transpicuous News for fucking years. When we see a big thing going on over here, what's the first thing I always say? You need to look over there. Because if they're trying to get everyone's attention over here, whether it's Cecil the lion or the gorilla or God knows, pick a false flag attack, whatever, that's because they're doing something quietly over here. Now, how many people, when this whole immigration thing and this blew up in social media, actually paused and went, oh, what are they actually doing? Whoa, 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 whoa. Is there distraction everyone with this? What's actually going on that they're trying to distract us from? Because it's the exact same template. We need to remain neutral. And by neutral, I don't mean sit on your ass, do nothing, and stare at your belly button. That's not what I mean. I mean, we need to remain neutral in the knowing that it is all corruption, in the knowing that the left and the right are the same thing, in the knowing that they play these games over and over again. Don't feed the machine. Don't feed, sorry guys, I guess I should have turned my fucking Skype off, huh? Don't feed this vampire that is sucking up your energy, because that's what it's doing. And when you are angry, and when you are in fear, when you're worried, when you're depressed, when you're reacting with a major negative emotional reaction to something, you're not thinking clearly. And that's what they want, which is why they keep feeding this out in a perpetual loop. Why play the game? Now, it's not just about politics. It's not just about the news. It's not just about false flag attack in fucking Montreal, Canada, which was seriously such a fucking setup to support, you know, the new Trudeau government's anti-Islamic hate speech legislation that they can't seem to get pushed through. So now they've got a white guy shooting Muslim people. So now they can use it as a poster boy and say, oh, look, oh, hate speech. Anyways, I digress. It's not about sitting on your ass. It's about being proactive. And there's a very, very big difference between reacting and being proactive. One feeds and allows you to lose yourself into an emotional reaction that can then be used against you. The other is done in a calm, calculated way to reach a goal. Like it or not, Trump is the president of the United States. He is. So you can make a choice and you can say, I am going to shit my pants and scream and cry and freak out every single time he does something because I hate the man so much. Or you can be proactive. If he's doing something that's specific that you don't like, go research it. Find out everything you can about it. Build yourself a case and then play the game if you want. Make a choice. Okay, now this comes down into every level of what we're dealing with right now, whether it is some whistleblower bringing out information, whether it is dealing with Pizzagate, whether it is dealing with false flag attacks. You make a choice in how you are going to react. You also make a choice as to whether you even want to go down those rabbit holes to begin with. We talked about this on the show last night. Lisa and I put together a special edition of the One People Show that was last summer, 2016, that dealt with, here's the rabbit hole. And we're going to run you through the rabbit holes so fast, as many as we could in about 2.5 hours. 9/11, inside job, right? As we said last night, Lisa said it perfectly. 9/11 is an inside job. Now, you can make a choice. You can get really, really emotional about it. You can go down that rabbit hole and you can go learn the physics and the science about what temperature steel beams need to melt and what temperature jet fuel burns at. And you could study equations to figure out, how the planes and if they could and when and where and how you can do that. Or you can just accept 9/11 was an inside job. Move on. I'm not paying it any energy. I know what happened. I'm going to move on. We choose what we're going to pay our energy into. But what I'm seeing right now is a lot of people are not making a conscious choice. And they're blowing up over all kinds of things. Whether it's an article in one of the alternative media papers, whether it is an interview with someone, and they react, choose. Do you want to get angry and mad and stomp your feet? Or just let it go? If you don't agree with it, don't listen. It really is that simple. If you don't agree with it, just don't fucking listen. Take in what matters and make a choice. Make a choice to what you're going to pay your energy into. And the biggest piece of that is self-responsibility. Being responsible for your choices, being responsible for your reactions, being responsible for how you move forward in any given situation. I wish people could really clear their minds on a lot of this programming that we have going on. And we all have programming that we have to work through internally. I have my own programming that I work through internally. So do you. But if you can see it and see how it makes you react on an emotional level especially, then maybe it's something you can clear. The most important thing right now, in my opinion, is to stay neutral and stay in observer mode. Observe everything. Take it in, but don't react. Don't make a decision. That's right, that's wrong. He's lying, he's telling the truth. Now, just observe. Take all the information in. Sooner or later, you'll get your answers that you're looking for. But if you're too busy emotionally reacting, you will miss all the little cues that are going on around you. You will miss the truth because you're too busy reacting instead of researching. And that's all I wanted to talk about. Just a little short, I guess, dialogue. Maybe a rant. Maybe it was a rant. Stay in observer mode. Watch. Everything is being made very, very transparent right now. But you have to watch and look for it to see it. Talk to you later, guys. Bye.